Hi, I'm Chef Gordon Rader from Indian Hills Community College, and since we've gotten a couple of emails over the past few weeks about chicken, I guess we're doing too much chicken, I thought we'd come and try something with beef this time. And one of my favorite pieces of beef to work with is a tenderloin, where we get our filet mignons from. And this is a whole tenderloin, and you'll find this at Hy-Vee, sometimes at Walmart, but normally you'll have to ask your butcher since it's such an expensive piece of meat. They may not carry it all the time. Basically, this comes from the loin and the short loin towards the back, and it runs down, if you think about the short loin where you get your T-bones, porterhouse. The porterhouse has got that big chunk of filet on one side of it. So this is just the filet separated from the loin, and it requires a little cleaning up. Pricing, I've seen them as high as $22 a pound. I've seen them as low as $15 on sale. So it's still a bargain if you look at the price you pay for a filet when you go to the restaurant. So let's look at the anatomy here. We've got a chain that runs down one side of this, and we've got some fat, some sinew, and some silver skin. And most of this cleans up really well. As you can tell, I can just peel some of the fat away. And that's the first step. Now you see how that chain starts to come off, and the chain, that's a big piece of gristle with a little bit of meat on it. It just comes right off. I'm going to go ahead and take a knife, separate it here, and then we're going to go ahead and separate it the rest of the way. Okay. Now there's a lot of good meat on there, but it takes time to go through. We're going to go to the heart of the matter. Go ahead and get rid of the rest of this fat. So that peels right off. Take this over here. Now, there is a part here called the silver skin that's really hard. Can't chew it, so you want to get rid of that. The easiest way to do it is take your knife, and I'm going to just swap this guy around. Okay, so to remove the silver skin, we're going to take our knife, and we're just going to insert it right underneath the silver skin. You don't want to take too much meat off of there. The meat's really tender. Now you see how that flap lifts up? So we're just going to take the knife and work it against the silver skin. Hopefully you can see that. And just saw it back and forth where we're just taking up the skin and not the flesh. Okay? So you see you've got that nice strip of tenderloin there. Same thing here. And the same thing here. You know, with that kind of money for price per pound, you got to be careful that you don't take too much meat, flesh off of there. Now when we get into the butt end of it, and this is the butt end, the fat end, normally Chateaubriand, or if you go out to a hotel or a restaurant where they still serve Chateaubriand, that's the butt end. They serve it for two, and they'll carve it table side. We're just going to go ahead and just peel. See how that peels right off of there? You can go ahead and cut off any excess. Work my knife into the edge. And then just cut a V right in between those two seams. Just to get that out of there. Okay? Other side, you come by, scrape some of the fat off. Not very much fat on here, and that's what makes it a little bit lacking in flavor, but the tenderness is incredible. You see right here, you can get that fat right out without taking any meat. Same thing here. So we're not going to do the whole thing. This gives you the general idea. I'm going to move this over and bring one back that I've cleaned completely. Now you can see how nice and neat and nimble that is. We've got all of that fat in between the seam on the Chateau end. And you can roast this whole. This is great. I tuck in one end to make it even, then tie it off with butcher's twine, and then a little olive oil or butter and some salt and pepper and thyme, and put it in the oven and roast it whole. It's great like that. But we want to cut steaks. So if I were to cut steaks for the house, I take off this tip, and I could use that for shish kebab. And I could take off the head or the butt and have a Chateaubriand, but you can certainly cut fillets from that. But the filet mignon, center cut, nice 8-ounce, right? Here's another 8-ounce. There's another 8. And then something that's fun, they call them tornadoes, and they're small 4 to 6 ounce fillets that you can saute. You can just take those, maybe about 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick. Let's get one more 8-ounce out of there. And you got a 6 for the kid. And like I said, you could go ahead and take this butt end, cut this off, have enough for a couple shish kebabs, maybe cut a few more steaks out of this. That looks like a 10-ounce to me. And so then get the charcoal ready. So these are a few of the cuts, easy to do, probably one of the easiest pieces of meat to work with. So next time we get together, we're going to talk about cooking, and I'm going to show you something really neat to do with the filet mignon, one of my favorite things, of beef Wellington. So until we meet again.